And conversely, Surgical Goblin is so diverse, plays so many different decks, that it's not a given what he's going to run in any single matchup.
Ooh, so, I mean, we can both kind of agree. We're probably not going to see any 3 Muskies, probably not going to see any Golem. We do see a miner, though. Ooh,
Elixir Collector knocks out a ton.
Ooh, and a Hog Rider from Surgical Goblin.
Surgical Goblin has been playing a lot more Hog Rider recently, and he really benefits. The Zap missed 2 out of the 5 bats, and they helped counterattack, dealing enough damage to the Mega Minion that it's not going to be a threat on the counterattack.
Now, those bats, you leave, especially a push, like, for example, let's say you drop the miner, and then you drop those bats, and the tower targets onto the miner, those bats can do severe damage to a tower.
I mean, we've all had a graveyard with just a couple skeletons really rack up the damage quickly. Since bats do exactly the same amount of damage as skeletons, it only takes, what, 2 or 3 being tanked for by a miner to shred your tower.
Absolutely. So this is looking like that deck that we just saw recently. Who was running this deck? Do you remember from Rest of World?
It was actually,
yesterday?
This was a breakout deck from the European Fall Finals where champion Lupanji ran Goblin Hut P.E.K.K.A. all day. Even when people banned P.E.K.K.A., he simply put in Mega Knight and countered it. So this deck has been really popular. It was played, you're right, at the Rest of World. It was played a little bit in Latin America as well. It's definitely been, along with Mega Knight Hog Rider, the 2 most popular decks of this Fall Finals weekend.
You were right on the money. It was Lupanji. And if they didn't ban P.E.K.K.A. against him, then I think he was running, or they didn't ban Loon. He was running that Loon deck.
Yes, you're right. He also had that, it was Mega Knight Balloon with Goblin Barrel. It was a complete sell the farm offense deck.
Sell the farm.
So Surgical Goblin with a bit of he's a 700 damage lead right now, but he's kind of in a shaky matchup here. He has Mega Knight and Hog Rider against P.E.K.K.A., which counters both of those cards really well. He's going to have to figure out a way to get around the P.E.K.K.A. to finish off that tower because just Poison and Zap may not be enough.
But Leco, I mean, on the opposite side of that, I mean, he's only got 1 P.E.K.K.A., so he may end up having to choose, do I use this against the Hog or do I use this against the Mega Knight?
That's a good call, B, because the Inferno Dragon's already played up there. It might be able to finish off that P.E.K.K.A., and then he puts the Hog Rider in front of it, and now P.E.K.K.A.'s out of cycle. Benefit for Leco is he's got a really quick cycle overall.
Oh,
he runs right by!
She misses the swing!
Oh, the Goblin Hut! Wow!
Look at that poison. Great value there, hitting the tower, the hut. Oh, wow.
That's really sad placement there for Leco. So I don't know if you saw, the Hog Rider was coming in. Goblin Hut came down, but it was just too close to the tower because the Hog Rider, even though it started to drift towards the Goblin Hut, turned around, went for the tower, finished it off. Good game coming out of Leco.
13 seconds.
Great play by Surge. I mean, that's a bad matchup for him for sure.
Yes.
Goblin Hut P.E.K.K.A. is not what you want to go up against.
Absolutely. Surge still keeping the pressure on Leco here, not letting up, not letting him have any chance in these last few moments of the game. First game going to Surgical Goblin. First game of the day.
And like I said, I don't think that surprises too many people out there. Surgical Goblin had an hour.
All right, here we go. Game number 2, matchup number 1 today. So Surgical Goblin with the win of the first game. So Leco's got to win this one to move on.
That's right. So best of 3 is tough. Remember, this is not double elimination like we saw in the past Fall Finals. So if you stumble and have 2 bad games in a row, that is it for you. Your hope for Worlds is gone.
Tesla with its recent buff is actually kind of a great card to use. I mean, like you see, he just shut down Surge, just hogged that time completely with the Tesla. Even Elixir Trade at least.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of pros have become big fans of the new Tesla Tower, using it instead of Inferno Tower in a variety of different decks. Defensive Poison for Surgical Goblin almost entirely negates that skeleton, or the graveyard, sorry. It looks like only 1 skeleton got a single stab on the whole tower.
Yeah, for a 9 Elixir push, not probably what Leco was hoping for there. And it looks like Surgical's running the same deck. Leco, however, running a different... Oh, so never mind, I take it back. So that was a defensive Poison by Surgical Goblin.
But still, he did have the Ice Golem. It was a 7 Elixir push, countered with only 4, so great advantage for Surgical Goblin. They're about tied up in Elixir now after his pushes were also stifled by Leco's strong defense. Surgical's got to figure out a way to get a Hog Rider past this Tesla Tower because, as far as I can tell, that's always going to be a 4-for-4 even trade, and no damage will be done.
So it looks like Leco trying to cycle there, drops the log. Trying to get rid of this Inferno Dragon. Inferno Dragon can cause a lot of damage if you don't deal with it, so it's smart for him to take it out, get rid of it, get it out of the way.
I like this fake play by Surgical Goblin. He put the Ice Golem down, and he put the Goblins down to look like it was going to be a Hog Rider push. Leco bid on it, did put down the Tesla Tower, and then once the Tesla was placed there in the middle, then the Hog Rider was on the far side, jumped over the bridge.
Wow, so here comes Inferno Dragon crossing the bridge for Surgical Goblin.
And here's the
though
catch.
by the ice.
Now, what is the last card on Leco's deck? I think
Do you think it's poison?
It's got to be poison,
Yeah.
right? And it's a graveyard deck.
For sure.
I think this is a much better matchup for Surgical this time because
Yeah.
he can double up on these charging, and even if the
Like right
Tesla
now.
Tower grabs one of them, the Mega Knight will clean up it and then
Yes.
keep pushing, right?
Definitely, I think Leco was missing that P.E.K.K.A. this time, dealing with, once again, the Hog Rider and the Mega Knight. But he's got the Knight to deal with the Mega Knight. Knight, if Tesla paired up, I feel like you could easily shut him down.
Yeah, and actually
there
both
it
players'
is.
defense is holding very strong. Leco takes the damage lead right here with that graveyard. Here comes a big Hog Rider push. Oh, and the bats get pulled towards the middle by the Ice Golem and then blown up by the explosion.
Wonderful defense by Leco there, completely shutting down the push. Both towers now taking out that Hog Rider of Surgical Goblins.
And that graveyard on the other side did really well, bringing Surgical Goblin's tower down to half health. Inferno Dragon is going to take care of this Knight and start a counterattack. The question is, will that
Here it
Tesla
comes.
Tower stifle the whole thing?
Yes. It's going to be who gets the better push quicker in this one. Between that Graveyard Poison, you could deal damage super quickly. And I mean, you can get damage with Hog. I mean, what is it, 264 a swing for the Hog?
Yeah, I think this graveyard, okay, he does get the
Here it
defensive
is.
points. I was going to say, that graveyard might be the game changer because with Mega Knight being played,
Yes.
very little elixir in hand to deal
Yeah,
with.
that's
But
7 elixir right there.
it took a couple hundred. There,
Here comes the Hog. Oh, Mega Knight gets kited away by Leco's Ice Golem.
Like, watch this Mega Knight leaping. Oh no, it's going to hit the archers and then
Is he
hit
going to
the
go to
King
the King
Tower?
Tower? Is he going to?
Looking like it.
Here we go.
Oh, he
And
is!
Yes, he is. And good morning.
Now that's
those
going to
King
make
Towers
it
away.
a bit tougher because any future Hog Rider, even if it does connect to the tower, is going to get 2 towers shooting at it, reducing the amount of total damage it can do.
Well played on those archers by Leco.
Defensive poison.
Not a lot of damage there for that graveyard, though.
And once again, the Ice Golem is going to take the Mega Knight for a walk. That is one of the hardest counters to deal with because you used to have 2 towers shooting your Mega Knight while it's getting drugged across the board.
Wow, that Hog gets 100% shut down that time. Not even a swing on Leco's tower.
This Mega Knight's still very healthy, though. I think he's going to jump over onto the archers, and then suddenly Leco's going to have 2 of them to deal with. The Tesla Tower in the middle takes half of its damage already, and it's so far back, the Hog is not going to get pulled.
Yeah, Hog is ignoring it. Going to the tower, it connects to the tower. He's swinging. He's not going to be enough to get anywhere significantly low, not even a triple digits yet. But Surgic's got the right idea of what he's going to have to do to win this one.
And he does close the gap there. Now there's only 600 damage separating him instead of much more than that. A graveyard comes out, but with no support, Goblins are coming down to block it. That's actually much cheaper than the defensive poison and just as effective. He can use that extra elixir on his offensive attack here on the left.
Yep. Here it goes. That Tesla's pretty much gone. And is Mega Knight going to jump? Oh, lucky. Mega Knight doesn't jump. Bringing it down now. 688 on that left side tower.
And it seems like Surgical's finally found the cycle that he wants because the last 2 pushes have really tied up the game here. He's just got to do it one more time. But oh no, here comes the graveyard.
Go. Who's it going to be? Whose push is going to get it the damage quicker?
Oh, it's so close. The defensive poison has been so much more effective this time than it has been in the past. Mega Knight is going to jump onto the Tesla Tower.
Here come the bats, so the bats are connecting. Oh, that Knight saved the day against those bats.
And you can see the effectiveness of having that King Tower activated as the Mega Knight, despite not really drawing a lot of aggro, has just been shredding. With only 30 seconds left, maybe these players are going to go for a draw. But no, it looks like Leco's going for the offensive poison.
Oh, is that Hog going to get it? The Hog?
Wow!
Oh my gosh! Oh,
Incredible awareness.